You've seen it everywhere. Concrete jungles, steel towers, and the relentless hum of urban life. But what if I told you that beneath your feet, hidden in plain sight, lives a world where animals are rewriting the rules of survival? These aren't just birds surviving in the city. They're thriving, adapting in ways that defy our expectations. They're not just coping, they're outsmarting us, turning concrete into home. But it's not just pigeons. From the smallest rats to the cleverest raccoons, animals are finding ways to navigate, build, and even communicate in the urban sprawl. This isn't just about survival. It's about adaptation, evolution, and the surprising intelligence that's emerging in the heart of our cities. So, what happens when the wild meets the concrete? What secrets are hidden in the cracks and crevices of our built environments? When we talk about secret cities, we're not just referring to places hidden from humans. We're talking about the urban ecosystems that have emerged in the wake of human development. These are the invisible worlds built by animals right beneath our feet. These cities are not built with bricks or steel, but with concrete, glass, and the remains of our daily lives. They are shaped by the materials we leave behind and the spaces we create unintentionally. Animals have learned to navigate these concrete jungles using their senses, often adapting their behavior to survive in spaces that were never meant for them. They find shelter, food, and even social structures within these new environments. From the smallest insect to the largest predator, every species has a role in these secret cities. They are not just surviving, they're thriving in ways we're only beginning to understand. You might think concrete is a threat, but it's also a new habitat. Animals are finding ways to live in the spaces we create, often without us even noticing. These creatures are not just surviving, they're adapting. Their bodies, behaviors, and even their diets are changing to fit the urban environment. By studying these adaptations, we can learn how to design cities that are better for both people and wildlife. It's a lesson in coexistence and resilience. And maybe, just maybe, it's a reminder that nature is everywhere, even in the concrete. We just have to look closer. We're diving into the history of concrete, a material that transformed cities, but also reshaped life for animals. It's a story of progress, but also of disruption. Concrete first rose to prominence in the early 20th century, driven by the need for strong, durable, and affordable construction materials. As cities expanded, so did the amount of concrete used. It became the backbone of infrastructure, from highways to skyscrapers. This rapid expansion came at a cost. Wildlife habitats were lost, and animals were forced to adapt to a world made of concrete. The history of concrete is not just about human achievement, but also about the silent, ongoing adaptation of animals to our built environment. Imagine you're a tiny mouse, and the world you know is suddenly covered in concrete. You can dig, you can't hide, so you have to find a new way to live. Some animals build little homes in the walls, or dig under the ground where it's still safe and dark. Other animals just learn to live with the noise and the heat, finding ways to stay cool and avoid danger. Even some birds change their songs to be heard over the loud city sounds, so they can still find a mate and warn each other of danger. So even though the world has changed, animals are still amazing at adapting. They don't just survive, they find new ways to live. To understand how animals adapt to concrete, we first need to look at the urban environment itself. Cities are built with concrete, steel, and glass, creating a landscape that's completely different from the wild. Concrete is more than just a material. It's a physical barrier, a surface, and a habitat. It changes the way sunlight hits the ground, alters water flow, and even affects air temperature around the city. Once the animals find a suitable location, they begin to modify the environment using their natural tools. Some use their claws or teeth to dig into the concrete, creating small cavities and tunnels for shelter. Others, like the common rat, use their strong incisors to gnaw through the surface, creating passageways and even small chambers for nesting and protection. Some species even use natural materials found in urban environments, such as sticks, leaves, or even discarded plastic, to reinforce their dens and make them more secure. This adaptation is a form of ecological intelligence. Animals rethinking their survival strategies in a world that has changed beyond recognition. By altering their environments, these creatures turn concrete into a canvas for survival, proving that even in the harshest urban landscapes, life finds a way. Now, the clever twist comes when animals start to modify their environment, not just adapt to it. Some species dig through the soil to find water or cooler spots, while others build shelters from debris, like rats using rubble to create dens. This behavior is not random. It's an evolutionary strategy. By altering their surroundings, animals create microhabitats that offer protection from the elements and predators, which is crucial in a landscape dominated by human structures. Insects, too, have their own form of cleverness. Some species lay their eggs in cracks and crevices of concrete, using the material itself as a protective casing for their offspring. Even birds have started to adapt by nesting in urban spaces. They use materials like plastic, wire, and even old car parts to build nests that can withstand the harsh urban climate. This twist in adaptation shows that animals are not just surviving. They're evolving new strategies to thrive in a world where nature and human-made environments are increasingly intertwined. Beneath the concrete, life finds a way. Microorganisms called bacteria are actually breaking down the very material that threatens them. These microbes produce limestone as a byproduct, slowly neutralizing the acidic environment that concrete creates. This process, known as biomineralization, is not just survival. It's evolution in action. These microbes are essentially building their own shelter, turning poison into protection, one crystal at a time. Meanwhile, in the soil beneath the city, fungi are doing their own kind of magic. They're creating a network of threads that can absorb nutrients and even communicate between plants in the urban wild. These fungal networks are not just about survival, they're about resilience. They're the silent architects of underground ecosystems, helping plants survive in a world that's constantly being paved over. And in the waterways that snake through concrete jungles, bacteria are transforming polluted runoff into something less harmful. They're cleaning the water, turning toxins into harmless compounds. These are the quiet revolutions of the animal kingdom, processes that defy expectation, that thrive in the most unlikely of places. The science behind these adaptations is not just about survival, it's about transformation. Imagine a city built from stone and steel, where the ground is solid and unyielding. This is the world we've created, and for animals, it's not just a new landscape. It's a complete rewrite of their natural habitat. But here's the thing. Animals don't think in human terms. To them, the city is just another terrain, one that's shaped by forces like gravity, wind, and the availability of food, not by sidewalks or streetlights. In a way, the city is like a new kind of wilderness. It's not less natural. It's just a different kind of natural. A place where survival is about adaptation, not just instinct. So when we look at animals thriving in concrete, we're not just seeing resilience. We're seeing evolution in action, on a canvas that's shaped by human hands, but driven by the same ancient forces that shaped life on Earth. In the end, the city is not a barrier. It's just another environment, one that's built with human intent, but adapted by nature. And that's the real secret of these cities. They're not ours. They're theirs too. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end. There's a kind of quiet violence in the way the city breathes at night. Neon flickers like a heartbeat, casting long shadows over cracked sidewalks. You don't need to be hungry to feel the weight of the cold. It seeps into your bones, a silent reminder that you're not in control of your body or your fate. The city is a living thing, but it doesn't care about you. It just wants to move, to keep pushing forward, even if it means leaving you behind. Survival here isn't just about staying alive. It's about knowing when to let go, when to take a step back, when to let the world swallow you whole. The streets don't offer safety. They offer something else entirely, a kind of truth, raw and unfiltered, that you can escape if you're already here. We're talking about the invisible lines that divide people from the safety of their homes to the chaos of the streets. It's not just about survival. It's about staying alive in a world that doesn't always care. Every corner of the city holds its own danger, but the streets are where the real battle begins. They're not just roads, they're battlegrounds, where trust is scarce and hope is fragile. In this city, survival isn't just about food or shelter. It's about knowing who to trust, when to move, and when to stay still. It's about learning the language of danger before it speaks to you. The streets don't just take from you, they shape you. They carve out a kind of resilience that no classroom or textbook can teach. It's a survival of the mind, a survival of the spirit. So what we're really talking about is the price of staying alive in a city that doesn't always want you to stay. It's about the weight of every decision, the burden of every moment, and the strength it takes to keep going. You think this is a distant problem, but it's not. It's here, in your city, in your neighborhood. It's not just a story from the news. It's a reality for thousands. Every time you walk past a graffiti-covered wall, you're seeing the scars of people who've tried to survive. Their stories are etched in paint, in broken glass, in the silence between words. This isn't just about poverty. It's about the invisibility of those who live in the margins. They're not just statistics. They're people with dreams, with pain, with lives that matter. You don't have to know their names, but you should know their struggles. Because the streets don't care who you are, only whether you can survive them. You can't change the world from a distance, but you can choose to listen, to see, to care. That's where real change begins. The first wave of urban survival began in the ruins of the old world, where the streets were the only shelter, and the sky was the only ceiling. People scavenged what they could, built with what they had, and learned to live without the safety nets of the past. As cities fell, the streets became battlegrounds. Those who survived did so by adapting, by learning to trust the right people, and by knowing when to stay silent. The law was gone, and so were the rules. In the early years, there were no borders. The streets were open to anyone who could make it through the first night. But as time passed, the streets became more than just places. They became identities, markers of who you were and who you could become. Survival in the streets was never just about food or shelter. It was about memory. The streets remembered everything. Every loss, every victory, every lie that was told in the dark. The history of the streets is written in the bones of the survivors. It is a history of loss, but also of resilience. And though the world has changed, the streets have not forgotten what they have seen. Every day is a new fight, but the streets don't care how hard you try. They just keep moving, and you have to keep moving with them. You don't get to choose your home, or your friends, or your food. The streets decide all that, and they don't make it easy. There's no time for dreams when your stomach is empty and your feet are sore. You just keep going, because that's all you can do. You don't have a future, but you still have to believe in something. Maybe not a future, but a tomorrow. Just one more day. The first step is the setup, the foundation of survival. You have to find a place where the walls are strong, the floor is solid, and the door can be closed. It's not about comfort. It's about control. A space that can shield you from the elements, from the eyes of others, and from the chaos outside. Every detail matters. The layout, the exits, the sounds. You map it out in your mind, like a map of a war zone, where every corner holds a risk. You don't just find a place, you build a world within it. a place where the silence can be louder than the noise outside. The setup is the first act of survival, the beginning of a fight to hold on, to stay hidden, to stay alive. The first step is survival, but the second is strategy. Every move must be calculated, every risk measured. You don't just live on the streets. You navigate them like a war zone, always watching, always waiting. You build a network, a silent language of trust and necessity. It's not just about finding food or shelter. It's about knowing who to rely on and who might betray you in the dark. Every night is a test of will. You sleep in the open, in the cold, in the silence. You don't dream. You stay awake, listen for danger, waiting for the dawn that never feels like yours. You don't just survive. You adapt. You learn to read the city's rhythms, its hidden spaces, its unspoken rules. It's not a place to live. It's a place to exist. In the end, it's not about strength or luck. It's about endurance. The streets don't give you anything, but they don't take everything either. You carry what you can, and you move forward. It's not just about finding shelter or food. It's about understanding the rhythm of the city, the hidden patterns that govern survival. You learn to read the streets like a map, not of landmarks, but of danger and opportunity. You start noticing the quiet signals, the flicker of a light in a window, the sound of footsteps behind you, the way people move in groups or alone. Everything has meaning, and everything is a test. The clever twist is knowing when to disappear, when to be seen, and when to let the city swallow you whole. It's about control, not confrontation. You don't fight the system. You become part of it. There's no victory, only survival. The clever twist is realizing that survival isn't about winning. It's about staying one step ahead, always watching, always listening, always waiting for the next move. In the end, the streets don't care. They don't judge, they just move. And if you're still standing when the lights go out, you've already won. The city breathes in concrete and steel. Its rhythm, a heartbeat beneath the pavement. Every street corner pulses with an unseen energy, a force that shapes the lives of those who call it home. Pollution hangs like a second skin, invisible yet ever-present. It clings to the lungs of the city's inhabitants, feeding the cycle of sickness and struggle. Every breath is a reminder that this is not just a place. It's a system. A system that thrives on survival, not comfort, and demands resilience in every step. The science of it all is quiet, but it hums beneath the surface, in the rust of the pipes, the grit of the pavement, and the weight of every choice made to stay alive. It's like trying to walk a tightrope blindfolded, with the wind howling and the ground below shifting beneath your feet. Every step is a gamble, and one wrong move can mean falling into the abyss. You don't just survive the streets. You learn to read the silence between the sirens, to listen for the heartbeat of the city before it roars to life. The streets don't care about your story. They don't ask for your name. They only ask if you can keep moving, keep breathing, keep fighting for a place to call home. You don't have to be brave to survive the streets. You just have to be stubborn enough to keep walking when everything around you says, stop. In the end, the streets are not a place. They are a condition, a way of being. And for some of us, they are the only home we ever knew. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.